Every single day, nearly one-fifth of the world's oil moves through a narrow waterway positioned between Iran and Oman, transforming the Strait of Hormuz into one of the most dangerous and strategically important choke points on Earth, where around 20.9 million barrels of oil and more than 11 billion cubic feet of liquefied natural gas pass through daily, sustaining the industrial economies of China, Japan, South Korea, and much of Asia, all of which depend heavily on uninterrupted energy flows moving through this single maritime corridor. But the entire system depends on one fragile assumption, that Hormuz always remains open. The moment that assumption fails, tankers stop moving, oil prices surge, shipping costs rise, and global markets begin reacting within hours. Existing bypass systems can move only a fraction of the energy that normally flows through the strait, leaving the world dangerously exposed to a single vulnerable route. Yet hidden between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman lies a corridor that could completely reshape global energy security. Could this become the new oil route the world desperately needs? First, we need to understand why one narrow stretch of water became so important to the entire world. The answer lies in geography. The Strait of Hormuz became the center of global energy trade because the modern world has very few practical alternatives. The Persian Gulf holds some of the largest oil and gas reserves ever discovered, allowing countries like Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, and Iran to build entire national economies around exporting energy to the rest of the world. But there's one major problem. Almost every barrel leaving the Gulf must pass through Hormuz before reaching the Arabian Sea and eventually the wider Indian Ocean. Over time, this turned Hormuz into one of the most important shipping corridors in modern history. But just how important is it? By the first half of 2025, around 20% of all global petroleum liquids consumption moved through the strait, while nearly one-quarter of all seaborne traded oil depended on the corridor staying open and secure. And where does most of that oil go? Almost 90% of the crude oil moving through Hormuz is destined for Asian markets, especially China, India, Japan, and South Korea, making the industrial economies of Asia deeply dependent on the stability of this single maritime route. But that dependence created a dangerous weakness. What happens if this route is blocked, attacked, or shut down? Suddenly, one narrow waterway has the power to affect fuel prices, global trade, and entire economies across the world. Iran controls one side of the strait, giving it direct influence over one of the world's most critical shipping corridors. But what happens when tensions rise in such an important route? The region faced repeated threats to maritime traffic through tanker attacks, naval confrontations, drone strikes, missile threats, and rising insurance costs that shook global energy markets every time tensions escalated. And every single crisis exposed the same dangerous weakness in the global system. Too much of the world's economy depended on one choke point staying open at all times. But despite decades of warnings and repeated instability, the world failed to build a real backup system. Some countries tried to reduce the risk. Saudi Arabia built the East-West pipeline toward the Red Sea, while the United Arab Emirates developed the Abu Dhabi crude oil pipeline, and Iran built the Goraj pipeline toward the Gulf of Oman. But there was one major problem. Even together, these systems cover only a small portion of normal Hormuz traffic. Existing Saudi and UAE bypass infrastructure provides around 4.7 million barrels per day of combined capacity, while Hormuz itself normally carries more than 20 million barrels every day, leaving the global energy system dangerously dependent on the strait, despite all previous attempts to reduce that exposure. And pipelines only solve part of the problem. What about natural gas exports? They remain heavily exposed to Hormuz disruptions. And could railways or trucks replace tankers? Not even close. Railways and trucking simply cannot transport oil at the scale required by the modern global economy, because maritime shipping still dominates global energy transportation, thanks to the unmatched efficiency of tanker fleets capable of moving millions of barrels per day across continents. This is where the UAE gains a geographic advantage that no other Gulf producer can fully match. Why does geography matter so much here? Because Kuwait, Iraq, and Qatar sit entirely inside the Persian Gulf, while Saudi Arabia's Red Sea coastline lies hundreds of miles away from many of its eastern oil fields. But the UAE controls territory on both sides of the region's chokepoint system, with its oil infrastructure positioned near the Persian Gulf, while Fujairah provides direct access to the Gulf of Oman and the Indian Ocean, leaving only around 72 miles separating the two coastlines. That narrow crossing could eventually become one of the most strategically valuable energy corridors on Earth. And Fujairah is already becoming a major player. It ranks among the world's largest bunkering ports and contains massive oil storage facilities directly connected to Indian Ocean shipping lanes heading toward India, China, Japan, and South Korea. During recent disruptions, the port quickly became one of the most important logistics hubs in the global energy system, as tankers tried to avoid Hormuz whenever possible. And now, the UAE may become the foundation for an entirely new global oil route. The first piece of that future system already exists. It's called the Abu Dhabi Crude Oil Pipeline, or ADCOP. But why was it built in the first place? The pipeline stretches roughly 235 to 250 miles from the Habshan oil fields to Fujairah and was completed in 2012 at a cost estimated between $3.3 and $4.2 billion. From the very beginning, the pipeline was designed to do one important thing: move oil outside the reach of the Strait of Hormuz, while giving the United Arab Emirates direct export access to the Gulf of Oman and the wider Indian Ocean. And today, the system is already proving that the idea works. The pipeline currently carries around 1.5 million barrels per day, with a design ceiling close to 1.8 million barrels daily. And every single barrel transported through ADCOP completely bypasses Hormuz. That's a major breakthrough. It proves that oil can successfully cross the UAE by land before reaching global shipping lanes outside contested waters. But there's still one major problem. One pipeline is nowhere near enough to replace the scale of Hormuz traffic. That's where the second proposal comes in. And this is where the idea changes from a regional bypass into something much bigger: a possible global energy corridor. So how would this system actually work? Strategic studies and infrastructure proposals have focused on building multiple parallel pipelines across the UAE, potentially creating a network of 10 major crude oil pipelines linking the Persian Gulf side of the country directly to Fujairah. And the scale behind this proposal is enormous. A single 48-inch pipeline could move around 2 million barrels of oil per day at a cost estimated between $4 and $6 billion. But what happens if more lines are added? A second pipeline would double the capacity to roughly 4 million barrels daily, while 4 pipelines could transport approximately 8 million barrels every day. And if the full system is ever completed, 10 parallel pipelines could potentially replace almost all normal Hormuz oil traffic at a total system cost estimated between $40 and $60 billion. And unlike a canal, pipelines begin delivering capacity the moment individual sections become operational. That is the key strategic advantage. A canal must be fully completed before the first tanker can pass through it. But pipelines work very differently. They can operate in phases, allowing capacity to grow step by step as construction moves forward. Even finishing just the first 2 lines within roughly 4 to 5 years could already create more bypass capacity than the combined Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates pipeline systems delivered before the crisis. But building this corridor is far more difficult than the map makes it look. At first, the land between the Persian Gulf and Fujairah is mostly flat desert. But then, the terrain changes fast. The route rises sharply into the Hajar Mountains, where peaks climb above 5,900 feet and geological fault lines cut through dense and unstable rock formations. And there's another major problem. Crude oil does not flow uphill naturally. So, how do engineers move millions of barrels across mountains? Every pipeline needs massive pumping stations placed on both sides of the mountain range to force oil across huge elevation changes. And if the full 10 pipeline system is ever built, the corridor would require more than 20 industrial scale pumping facilities operating across the route. Then comes another challenge: the heat. Ground temperatures in the UAE regularly rise above 122 degrees Fahrenheit. That creates serious thermal management problems as steel expands under extreme heat, while crude oil becomes harder to control at sustained temperatures. So, how do engineers manage something this massive safely? Every pipeline would require full length fiber optic monitoring systems capable of real time leak detection, pressure monitoring, and constant thermal tracking. And when everything is combined, service roads, maintenance access, pumping facilities, and safety spacing, the entire corridor would look more like a giant industrial energy highway stretching across the country. But building the corridor is only part of the challenge. Protecting it may become just as important. Why? Because cyber attacks targeting pipeline control systems already rank among the highest probability threats, while drone swarms, proxy attacks, and missile strikes remain constant dangers across the region. The 2019 attack on Saudi Aramco facilities temporarily removed around 5.7 million barrels per day from the global markets almost instantly. And drone strikes targeting Fujairah infrastructure prove something even more serious. Bypass routes themselves have now become frontline strategic targets. So, how do you protect something this important? Defending the corridor would require several layers working together at the same time. That includes missile defense systems, buried or hardened pipeline sections, backup pumping stations, naval protection around Fujairah, and AI controlled monitoring systems capable of constantly tracking pressure levels, leaks, and security threats across the entire network. But the pipelines are only part of the bigger plan. The third project focuses on Fujairah itself. Today, Fujairah already serves as one of the world's most important oil logistics hubs outside Hormuz. But what happens if the bypass network keeps growing? Future expansion plans could transform the port into something much larger through expanded oil storage facilities, larger export terminals, additional bunkering infrastructure, stronger naval protection systems, and greatly expanded maritime logistics capacity. And if the full bypass system is ever completed, Fujairah could become one of the most strategically important energy ports on Earth. But then comes the boldest proposal of all: a canal. Not just any canal, but a massive artificial waterway cutting across the United Arab Emirates from the Persian Gulf to the Gulf of Oman, creating a direct maritime bypass around Hormuz itself. The scale sounds almost impossible. To handle massive oil tankers, the canal would need to be up to nearly 1,000 feet wide and more than 80 feet deep, with the ability to move between 20 and 25 million barrels of oil per day. But the real challenge is the construction itself. Engineers would need to remove billions of cubic yards of rock through the Hajar Mountains, making it one of the largest engineering projects in history. Costs could range from $70 to more than $100 billion, while construction could take 10 to 15 years. But if completed, the canal could permanently reshape global energy trade by allowing ships to bypass Hormuz completely. And the vision may grow even bigger. The same corridor could eventually combine oil and gas pipelines, electricity lines, hydrogen exports, fiber optic cables, rail systems, ports, naval bases, and advanced defense systems into one giant strategic network across the UAE. In many ways, this becomes more than an energy project. It becomes a new global energy system built for a world where choke points are no longer temporary risks, but permanent geopolitical dangers. Recent disruptions already showed how fragile the global system has become. Shipping routes changed, tankers rerouted around Africa, governments released emergency reserves, and energy markets reacted almost instantly. That is the real lesson of Hormuz. The global economy still depends on one narrow and vulnerable route. The engineering solutions already exist. The geography works. The corridor is possible. Now, the real question is political. Will governments build a new energy corridor before the next major crisis arrives? Or will the world keep depending on just 21 miles of contested water? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next deep dive.